Oh, the joys of not being comfortable speaking to a camera. Let's redo this introduction. See if I can get it right this time. What's going on, everybody? Today, I wanted to introduce you to my next winter project. This is a 1986 Yamaha Virago 700. Now, you may be thinking, why would you get an 86 Virago 700 of all bikes? And there's many reasons why I did. I used to have a 97 Yamaha Virago 750 a few years ago whenever I was wanting to learn how to ride cruiser motorcycles and see if I liked them. I actually really did enjoy it, but I wasn't riding it enough in order to get the value out of it. Plus, at that time, the motor in my 1987 Fiero GT went out on me, and I was looking for a replacement motor for that. I had actually found a donor Fiero with a 3800 supercharger already swapped into it. I offered a guy a trade of the Virago for the motor, and he ended up taking it. So that was about 5-6 years ago, and that is a project within itself, but I did get the motor swapped out. So a little bit of progress has been made in 5 years. Now, when this bike popped up on Marketplace, I did a little bit of research into it just to see what I'd be getting myself into. And actually, these bikes themselves have a little bit of unique history with them. So from 83 to 87, Yamaha put out the XV700s due to a US tariff on engines coming in with above 700 displacement. From 83 to 87, Yamaha just made the Viragos in 700s. So that was a pretty neat little fact in itself. So the next reason was I wanted a bike that I could work on and do as much of the work as possible by myself. Now, I am not too mechanically inclined, but I do like to dig around a little bit. My boys are starting to get a little bit of interest in things, so I thought they could help me as well. But for the price that I paid for this bike, and as old as it is, if I don't happen to get it roadworthy, I'm not out a whole lot. But I wanted something that I myself could actually work on, as well as put out a series of videos on. This video won't be a one-shot video. This thing's on the road and I'm cruising around. It's going to be a process. I've started to find a little bit of parts here and there, and they're starting to trickle in, but I'm still a long way from being able to get it roadworthy, and that's fine. Another big reason to get this bike, I already had the manual. So this will help me, and like I said, I'm not too mechanically inclined, but this will help in getting the process going. And probably the number one reason I bought this, I watch way too much Bearded Mechanic and Vice Grip Garage on YouTube that I think I can do this stuff. So let's take a look around the bike. Let's see what we're working with. Start to come up with a plan. Let's take a look. Again, guys, I'm working with a new camera, microphone setup. So hopefully everything turns out well. If it doesn't, I apologize. I'm gonna keep working at it, but let's go ahead and take a look at the bike. So on the Marketplace, it said it only had 4,000 miles. Well, I think the owner forgot a 4, and it's actually got 44,709 miles. In the listing, it didn't have a clutch cable, didn't have a throttle, as well as a brake lever, and it's cabling, but that's okay. Actually, the cabling is right here. So it is here. However, I did buy a new reservoir, new cable and everything just in case. I also bought actually this is the throttle grip that came with it, but I did notice that I don't believe it's got all the hardware to the throttle cable. Why they unhooked the throttle cable, I'm not sure, but it's right here. So it's just hanging there, and that's all right. This bike is one that the more I look at it, the more I'm finding wrong with it. And again, that's all right. But we were able to get the bike running, throwing a little bit of starting fluid in there, playing with the throttle. We were able to get it running. It actually does run pretty good. Now, I didn't let it run long enough to get the motor fully warmed up, to check the cylinders, make sure they're both firing. But to the untrained ear, it actually didn't sound too bad. Now, it doesn't have a battery, so definitely got to add that to the list. Battery cover, it doesn't have. As it's been sitting in a garage, it did develop a little bit of a leak. Hopefully, it's just a small leak on the crankcase that won't be too big of a deal. I noticed these wires are cut. Don't know what that went to. Paint on the tank is obviously not the greatest. Seat, I'm planning on either redoing myself or finding a new one. It actually, you can sit on it, it does its job. something's missing right here. I don't know if this was the tool case or like the little storage case that goes here. All in all though, I don't know if I believe if I remember right on my 97, I think there was a cover here. Got stuff just hanging about. That's probably the computer, I'd say. Like I said, guys, I'm not too knowledgeable on these bikes. I just know that I did like the one I had. Headlight, yeah, that's all right, I guess. But, I mean, I think she's a worker. She'll get going at some point. All in all, not a bad little bike. I think it'll clean up nice. I think it'll run pretty well. Let's take a look at the gas tank, see what we're working with in there. Are you gonna turn? Oh, there we go. Tank, not bad. Got some little bit of corrosion in there, but oh, yep, there's some junk in there. The tank's I'm planning on taking this off, getting it cleaned up anyway. That's one of the first things. That and the carb, get the carbs off, get those cleaned. Then I think it'll start up a little better. Man, as much as I like new cameras and fancy equipment, stuff like that, I hate doing a video and then not even knowing if it's going to be any good. All right. So let's get some things hashed out on what we need. Obviously, throttle, brake, front, clutch, battery, oil and filter, carbs, tank. It does need new tires. I do know that. Various covers, aesthetics. I'm usually good at spelling, but I'm not sure if I spelled aesthetics right. I'm gonna put on electrical, and that's bare all in itself. I know that with the key on, we started it with a jump box. None of the lights came on. I think the headlight came on, but I did notice like the contacts of like the horn, turn signal, engine start, and all that. I know that they were kind of sticking, so those will definitely need cleaned up. Mirrors. I don't know what is up with these tiny mirrors, but I've seen them more and more, and I do not know how you see anything out of them. Actually, off of my last Virago, I took these mirrors off of it. So I've got those. These are the various junk pieces that have started to come in. I've got, I bought a new reservoir because that one came with it. Little glass housing is broke there. So I figured that probably needed changed. Came with the backrest. That cover just popped off. It actually needs a new bracket anyway. I got a new, some type of lever came in. And then I got these nifty little bags. Look at that, biking bags. Don't know anything about them, but they lock. Oh, there's a lever. And eventually one of these days they'll go on there, maybe. Next little thing will be seat, which isn't that big of a deal. And then I'm sure we'll add to this list as we go on. But for the time being, I think that is a good place to start. I think I'm going to get the throttle, brake, and clutch figured out first. I'll get a battery, oil, and filter on the way, and then we can start getting into some of this big stuff as well. Actually big, I mean carbs, tank, tires, electrical. Covers and aesthetics, we definitely need those. Mirrors, I've only got 4 mirrors at the moment in the seat. But I'm really looking forward to getting started working on this. I can't wait for you guys to come along. If you have any suggestions, if you know little tips and tricks for these specific bikes, definitely let me know. I'd love to hear just kind of what to keep an eye on. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And let's get this thing ready to go by next spring. To all of those who watched the video of Joey and I working on the mower, thank you very much. It was cool seeing the views pop up. He's been keeping an eye on that stuff. He loves to see how many views, how many people subscribed, how many likes it got. He is over the moon right now wanting to work on more and more stuff. I mean, I'm kind of doing these videos just for the heck of it and get the boys out here and mess around with them. But that kid is ate up, and sincerely from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. I get more enjoyment out of him getting excited about that kind of stuff than me actually. Yeah, I like seeing that stuff too. They wanted to start a YouTube channel, and I was just like, you know, we'll do something. We'll get out in the garage and just goof around. And dude, he is ate up with it. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. But I hope you enjoy this series coming up. I don't know when the frequency of the videos will get out. I'm definitely looking forward to it as well. Until next time, be sure you like, subscribe, so you can keep up with how this is going. And definitely leave me some comments down below on what I need to look out for. Now let's take a look at this video and see if the sound and anything even came out on it. Probably not. Probably just 20 minutes of me saying nothing.